BBC Radio Leeds, your boy Sanchez Payne. This is Backstage. That was Camila Cabello with Never Be the Same. And now you are locked in with me, and I have the pleasure of introducing my first guest. Now, Sangam is a Bradford theatre and an art centre which features local, national and international artists from a variety of cultural heritages. Now, they've recently announced their Spring 2020 programme, and that launches tomorrow. And here to tell us all about it, we have Alex Croft, Sangam's creative director. Alex, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You?
I'm really good, man. Thank you so much for being here. So, first and foremost, for anyone that isn't aware, what is Sangam?
So the term we use is an intercultural arts hub. So we've got a theatre that's a small theatre. We're in the centre of Bradford, so we're between the Broadway and Bradford Cathedral, if people know where that is. We've got a theatre which has a regular programme of performances on and shows, but we do much more than that as well. We are a place that supports artists, so we have a lot of artists that come in and create work there that then goes off and tours around the country. We're a venue that people can use for conferences, for birthdays, for weddings. We're kind of a real hub for the community and all of the communities in Bradford, right in the city centre.
And you're obviously the creative director.
Yeah.
So what do you look for when it comes to creating a programme of events? Like, what's your vision for the space?
Okay, we've got 3 programming strands that we look to align everything with that we do. So one's called This is Bradford. It's about how we can bring work to the city that's relevant to all of the communities in Bradford, but also how we can support local artists in the city to create work and create new stuff that people can come and see. Second one's called British Diversity, and that's about how we can make sure that we're creating work and putting on work that supports all of the protected characteristics. So it's work that's got gender at its heart, or sex at its heart, or LGBTQ plus issues. Those sorts of things. A real kind of deep,
good topics.
Yeah. Important stuff that we feel like the arts should be sharing and getting people to talk about. And the third one's called South Asia Now. And a lot of people may have heard of us because that's at the heart of everything that Sangam does, is South Asian arts and South Asian art forms. And so we put on classical Indian performances, so classical Bharatanatyam performances, Kathak dance performances, or classical Indian music performances. But also as well, we do everything along the spectrum. So we've got, young British Muslim rappers who are putting on showcases in the space, and we're looking at people who are creating work that explores what it means to be of South Asian heritage but in Bradford. So if you're a 4th, 5th generation young Pakistani man in Bradford, we're asking them, what does the art mean to you? What are your cultural references? What do you want to say, and how do you want to say it?
Well, that's amazing. So you're doing all of these amazing things, and you've still got so many more amazing things to come. So 2020, spring programs come out. How are you feeling about it? What have the people got to look forward to?
I'm super excited. So as you said, it opens tomorrow night. So we always kick off our seasons with an exhibition launch. And this exhibition that opens our season tomorrow is by Shai Baran, who is a young Asian female photographer from Bradford, and Sharina Lee Sati, who's a young Asian female poet from Bradford. And they've come together to create this exhibition of work that's images of women from around the district, but it's all about body positivity. So it's giving them control over their image and allowing them to pass on positive messages through the images that they've chosen. It's been staged in a really interesting way, which is actually completely under wraps and top secret. But
I'm going to say,
if you come along tomorrow night, because no spoilers, but it's really different and interesting. And on the night tomorrow, you'll hear some poetry being read out. We've got live dance that's happening as part of it. So it's a real kind of celebration of women in the space.
How important is it to you to touch on some amazing subjects like that? Because, it sounds like one thing that's really big coming from yourself is that you want to give opportunities to people. How important is it to give these people a platform to show how talented they are?
It's massively important. For me, that's what... So we're one of those organisations that's lucky to get money from the Arts Council, from the government, technically. And we're one of the smallest in the country, but I feel like that's our responsibility. You know, if taxpayers' money is paying for us to put stuff on, we have to be relevant to those communities. We have to reach out to them, support
be authentic.
And just looking at what we've got coming up. So at the end of February, one of the things I'm probably the most excited about within the programme is a piece called Helm by Talent Hub. So Talent Hub is a group of learning disabled or autistic dancers who've been brought together with strategic money to see whether we can pull them together into being a touring dance organisation, a touring dance company, and that's going to present work that, because very often when you see work that's got people with a disability, people with learning disability or autism in there, it can be very community based, very community focused. This isn't. This is choreographed by Theo Klinkard, who's one of the most exciting choreographers in the country.
So it's real.
It's real, and and so they had the premiere in Newcastle, and literally my jaw dropped. I mean, this thing is just mind-blowing.
Phenomenal.
And when you look and you speak to those young dancers about how they've been involved in it, what it's done, it's changing their lives. And that's what the arts can do.
The arts, and I mean, I'm big on football, so that's my forte, but it's a similar thing where these things are kind of transferable, where they can allow so many opportunities to come forward, and everyone can kind of relate to it in a different way, and it's a way of relaying messages through these different forms. But you also do that in other ways, because you're also big on education. You offer classes, education classes, outreach. Can you tell us a bit more about the impact that Kala Sangam has within the community as well?
Yeah, first thing I said, don't all football's bringing me is pain at the moment because I'm a Sheffield Wednesday supporter. So it's just
okay.
outright misery for me.
I apologise.
Yeah, I mean, our work with communities and with young people has been at the heart of everything that we do at Kala Sangam for the 25 years plus that the organisation's been there. But I can best sum it up today. So today we had what's called a schools linking visit. So we had 2 schools from different areas of Bradford. And what this project does is bring together schools whose demographic, whose makeup is very different from each other. So those kids won't necessarily have met and engaged with young people like they're going to meet for there. We bring them together. They've taken over our entire building, so our 2 big spaces. Faye, our education and outreach officer, was completely drained by the end of the day of dealing with all these young people. But when you heard the kind of the buzz and the excitement and and we've seen kids coming back just shouting as they were leaving, saying how great it was, and they've leaving us these things saying, "Oh, I've made a friend for life now with this kid from another school that they've met," and how it's opened their eyes to other people's experiences. That's really important for us. It's just as important for us as the art that we put on our theatre stage.
Well, that's the real reward, that you've actually you're leaving a legacy, because you're now giving these young people the knowledge that there's somewhere that they can be creative, but also you're putting belief in them for them to see the space that you're allowing them to inhabit, but also to be creative. It's absolutely massive.
Yeah, and what we've done is we've opened those doors, so they're now hopefully for those young kids, those few young kids who've got that talent, got that drive, can think to themselves, I'm going to be an artist.
I can do
now.
it.
In the same way as you're saying, people see Premiership footballers all the time, and that's a very clear established route for boys to be able to say, if I'm good at football, if I stick at it, there's a chance I'm going to be a Premiership footballer. Well, we want to open that and say, hey, do you know what? Like, if you're not very athletic, but you're creative and you've got that, you're welcome here. This space is for you to come into and aspire to be in.
And how important is it for yourself to make sure that the art space enables and showcases creativity from multicultural backgrounds as well? Like you said, what you touched on, which was great, bringing people that won't necessarily in normal circumstances be able to meet each other, is absolutely incredible that you're doing that. But why is that so important?
I mean, it's always been important. So the name, Kala Sangam, in Sanskrit, Kala is the arts, and Sangam is like a meeting point of rivers, a confluence of rivers. So the name itself means a place that brings people together through the arts. We're in Bradford, and Bradford's one of the most rich, multicultural, diverse cities on the face of the planet. I think probably
Agreed.
And that city's been on a huge journey over the last kind of 20 years, and now I think is leading the way in terms of saying, actually, our multiculturalism, our diversity is the strength of that city, and sharing those differences and similarities is what's really important to making that city work. And for me, I think the arts is one of the best ways that you can do that. It gets people into a room in a safe, creative space to be able to share opinions, share ideas, find commonality, and really come together to create something. And we're always searching for who are those artists who are creating that Bradford piece of work, that thing that represents and we're not telling them what Bradford is. I want to know from those people in Bradford, what do you think Bradford is? What's your experience of it? That's important.
Well, Alex, I can 100% feel the energy and passion, and I'm sure the people listening can as well. Where can people find out more information about Kala Sangam and everything that's coming forward and coming to them in the new year?
Yeah, so all you need to do is jump on the website. kalasangam.org is our web address. You'll be able to have a look at our program there. I think the really important thing for people to know about our new season is everything in it is pay what you decide. So you can take a risk. You can come and find a performance. If you've ever thought to yourself, I might try that out. So next week we've got a performance which blends the idea of a classical string quartet with classical Indian instruments, played by some of the best musicians in the country in terms of classical Indian music. That's pay what you decide. If you've ever thought to yourself, what's that about? I might take a risk on it.
Yeah, if you're a little bit curious,
book your ticket, come and see it. At the end of the show, you give us what you think it was worth. And do you know what? If you genuinely didn't enjoy it and it wasn't for you, that's fine. We're glad to have had you in the building. Come and try something else next week.
And the thing with that is you've got no excuses, people. If you've got nothing to do and you can go look at Kala Sangam and see something that might even pique your interest, you go to it. But I'm looking over at Alex and I know for a fact he's got a twinkle in his eye to know that anyone that does go through those doors will definitely come out satisfied, and I'm sure you will as well. So a big thank you, Alex, for coming on the show and speaking so passionately about everything that's coming forward. I'm looking forward to seeing all the things unfold into the new year with it and the incredible spring program as well. For the full listings of what's taking place at the space, remember to head to kalasangam.org. That is kalasangam.org to see everything that's coming forward. And again, Alex, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.